Well, y'all, welcome back to another episode of Robot. We're here to break down the Ally 400. My goodness, what a race. Lots that happened in this race. But we're going to rapid fire through this race. So let's roll. Stage 1 and 2. I mean, it was a pretty normal race. I mean, it was really hard to pass. It was hot. It was slick. Best car in stage 1 and 2 was probably Christopher Bell. Danny Hamlin second right in there. You didn't know with the way the track position worked that maybe Hamlin was, as if not better than Christopher Bell, but Christopher Bell won both stages. Halfway through stage 2, we did see a rain delay, an hour and 20-minute rain delay. So we're just sitting there, another rain delay. Back-to-back races where rain was in effect. But we did see a couple of wrecks, though, in stage 2. It was really a single car. Johnny Nemechek got in the wall, got some corner panel damage. Ty Gibbs lost it in turn 4, spun. That was it. I mean, it was a normal, natural type race. And then stage 3, I felt like the intensity picked up. The lights were turned on. It was going down. The sun was setting. But that's where I felt we saw Danny Hamlin become the best car. And then as stage 3 began, we had a weird strategy going on. Some people taking 2 tires, 4 tires, staying out. Bellini was the one that was staying out. That really was in a situation that he had to hope for cautions, but it was his best chance to have a shot to win. That's where we saw Danny Hamlin and Christopher Bell get trapped, back outside the top 15. And that's where it was mayhem back there. 4 wide, 3 wide. Everyone's trying to get everything they can get on these restarts because passing was difficult. And then we saw Christopher Bell, the best car all day, just lose it 3 wide, smacks the wall, breaks the toe link, and ends his day. We also saw Brad Keselowski have contact with Austin Dillon. I thought it was more Brad's fault there. He was called clear. I don't know. Some people more maybe saying that Austin did get into him. I don't know, but that also ruined Brad's day, who had a top 5 car. So we saw a lot of single car spins. We saw Chase Elliott spin in stage 3. A lot of wrecking, just the intensity. You could tell that everyone was getting everything they can get on these restarts. And with all that happening, we ended up getting this nice green flag run to the end of this, what we thought was the race, the scheduled distance. And that's where we thought the best car that was left, Danny Hamlin, the fastest car, the pole center. He was picking cars one by one, and with Ross, knowing that I think Ross was on a 2-tire strategy at the end of stage 3, so we knew that he wasn't going to be as fast, and Hamlin was just slicing and dicing Bubba. He was passing Bubba. Bellini had a pit. His strategy didn't work out there. I mean, it was an extreme strategy to even think he was going to be able to save enough fuel. And then we had a great battle with Hamlin and Ross just duking it out. We knew I was going to be interested to see how much Ross could aero block Denny if he was ever going to get an opportunity to even, it was Denny, because Denny was fast. I mean, he was at a point where he was fast enough where he didn't have to, cars could fight hard to stay side by side, but Denny was just really, really good. And then he got to Ross pretty quickly, and his car was so strong. There was a couple of times where Ross did a good job blocking, took the air off Denny Hamlin's car, but then Denny was able to drive right back to the bumper of Ross and then get Ross out of shape with the arrow, the way the arrow works, and that Ross washed up the track, and Denny took the lead. And this was only around 6 laps to go, and then we thought it was it. Ross was staying in reach if anything happened, but it was only 2 laps to go. Looked like this was Denny Hamlin's race to win. But all of a sudden, we get a caution when Denny Hamlin was about to take the white flag with Austin Cindric making contact with Todd Gilliland. He spins around and holy crap. Now everyone's talking about fuel. And then we go into the wildest overtime, which was almost like a whole different separate of a race. A wild restart with Hamlin, Larson, the beef between Larson. Those two were involved. My gosh, Ross second. We go into turn 1 of the first overtime, and looks like Larson was trying to move Denny, but then he got clipped. Ross clipped the apron and then washed up and hit Ross. That collected a bunch of cars, collected Kyle Busch, but then on the next overtime, for some reason, NASCAR granted Kyle Busch the 4th place spot, even though 15 freaking plus cars passed Kyle, but we'll get to that a little bit later, what NASCAR's decision was on that. We get another restart, and it looks like Hamlin, it was a little clean going to 1 and 2, but then we get a wreck on the backstretch. And now we're, okay, that Hamlin was really only supposed to have 1 overtime. So now, all right, what's Hamlin going to do? What's Kyle Larson going to do? What's some of these leaders up front going to do? Well, they choose to stay out. And then that's where we see Kyle Larson on the third overtime run out of gas. And then that collected Kyle Busch and a bunch of other people. Kyle Busch was in a situation, if race wouldn't have ended on scheduled business, Kyle Busch would have had a top 5. But then it ruins his day, finishes outside the top 20. Larson, I guess we thought ran out of gas, but he just lost. I don't know. I think it stuttered or something. Because he was able to take gas and still be in position then to have a good finish. But then in that situation, pretty much the decision is then made for Hamlin to then pit, Truex to pit, because they just knew Hamlin was stuttering coming to pit road. Truex probably has the same situation. That led Joey Logano to be the leader. We get a restart. It's Chase Briscoe, Joey Logano battling out, racing hard. You trying to block each other, everything going on. Joey's keeping his cool. He's coming to the white flag. We get another caution. Josh Berry smacks the wall in 3 and 4, and then we get another overtime. And now this time, Joey's maybe low on fuel. And then Tyrex, looking like he's pretty good on fuel. We got Zane Smith, and then we got a great battle between Tyrex and Joey the guy battling out. Same old thing, hard, aggressive, Joey air blocking, Tyrex, he's the faster car, has opportunities going into 1 and 2, sets up for 3 and 4 in the white flag, but Joey holds him off, and his car is literally stuttering coming to the finish line. Joey Logano survives the wild overtime to get the W. We're getting right into our top finishers. Let's run through the entire freaking list. Joey Logano gets his first win of the season. Zane Smith, second win of the season. If he would have won this race, it would have shook up the playoff standings. But still, I guess a solid finish for Zane, but it doesn't really do much for him because he needs to win a gosh dang race. But great finish though. Tyreek really disappointing in the race. Could have won. Ryan Preece, solid run for him. Chris Buescher, 5th. Ryan Blaney, 6th. Bo Wall, 7th. 8. Kyle Larson after that rebound. 9th. Daniel Hemrick. 10. Noah Gragson. 11. AJ Allmendinger. 12. Danny Hamlin, a guy who probably won this race 4 different times, but due to just the way everything happened, there's nothing you can do. Finishes 12th. Justin Haley, 13th. 14th, Alex Bowman. 15th, Austin Cindric. 16th, Carson Hocevar. We got to get to that. Carson Hocevar, I think, intentionally ran into the back and Harrison Burton under caution. NASCAR didn't see it, didn't do anything about it. There's a good chance it's going to be a penalty for Carson Hocevar for that incident. So that was when that actually happened right after Brad wrecked. We all of a sudden the cameras pinged to Harrison Burton just wrecked on the front stretch, just spun out there. So I think Carson Hocevar, just to get right to the point, is probably going to get a penalty this week, if I'm being real, because that was not a great look for him. 17, Todd Gillen. 18, Chase Elliott. 19, William Byron. 20th, Corey LaJoie. 21st, Chase Briscoe. 22nd, Daniel Suarez. 23rd, Ty Gibbs. 24th, Martin Truex. 25th, Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski was like 3 laps down, but all these overtimes, he was able to finish 25th somewhat with a smashed rear end. 26th, Josh Berry. 27th, Kyle Busch, man. We already talked about a guy who would have had a top 10, who was, if this race was won the 400 miles, he would have had a top 5. But then he gets stuck with outside top 20 finish that we talked about. Harrison Burton, 28th. Corey Heim, 29th. Ricky Stenhouse, 30th. 31st, Darren Nemechek. 32nd, Austin Dillon. 33rd, Ross Chastain. 34th, Eric Jones. 35th, Michael McDowell. 36th, Christopher Bell. 37th, Riley Herbst. And finishing out the 38th, Chad Fitchum. Now we get into this overall race, putting this thing on the Roy rate. Look, the I 400 was pretty fine. It was a solid. It was a good ending with a great battle between Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin. This race would have been a fine, solid, right? But look, it was still hard to pass. But then it turned into a freaking chaos type race, which is fine. Chaos is awesome. But then you get 5 overtimes, which is the most in NASCAR history. It's just like, Look, I was entertained, of course. But I think it gets a little sloppy because then you just got guys wrecking, doing things they wouldn't do in a regular race. Danny Hamlin would have won this race. I already said he won this race like 4 different times. Joey got a win, and this really shaked up the whole playoff system because now Bubba Wallace is like from being -6 is now like -40, and Chase Briscoe's like -70 whatever, and then Kyle Busch -100 whatever. I mean, they really just lost all of it now. Now, it's not as crazy as if Zane Smith would have won because that one really shook it all up. But Joey gets the win done. And the crazy thing is, they somehow saved enough fuel. They were always supposed to run like 80 laps. on field tape, and they ran 108 laps. And their explanation is what I'm hearing is that because they were slow, they weren't as fast as what Denny Hamlin and those guys were. They were able to save more fuel, and that's the reason that they were able to run as long as they did. So incredible for him. I mean, the whole Kyle Busch incident, where Kyle Busch got his fourth place spot back after the first overtime due to him slowing down, was the reason NASCAR did that was because he was being safe, according to Jordan Bianchi. He was being safe and not running into Ross Chastain. So that's why, even though he lost like 15 spots, but because he wasn't trying to run into someone, they gave a spot back. I don't know what the frick that was. That was a terrible, bad call by NASCAR, in my opinion. All right, the rolling rate. Oh, man. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I know I give those a lot, but I enjoyed the race. I thought it was a good race. 7.5. 75% of it. I thought this race was really, really good. I thought it was solid. It was a typical race. I guess the chaos added a little more excitement. The entertainment level boosted this thing up a lot. That's the rolling rate, and that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. It was a quick rundown. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for more NASCAR content. Goodbye.